What is happening, troops? Welcome back to the World Cup Roundup, brought to you by Wireless, the best place to keep up to date with all things related to the FIFA 22 World Cup. He's finally done it. The wee man from Rosario, Argentina, has finally lifted that old famous trophy. But before we get into all that, welcome producer Cal to the main stage. You've finally made it. How you feel?
Finally,
Make sure you talk this time, you rodent.
Wow.
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 Go for him.
Go
Don't
for
go for
him.
me now.
That's fine, mate. No, good. Finally here. It's been a while.
How do you feel before we get into it?
How do I feel? Feeling good, mate. I'm feeling good.
It's a big debut. There's people
is
have been
a big
expecting big
debut.
things.
It's a very big debut.
He's coming in with a
Why
big
did
fan
you look
base.
at Ben there when you said big?
Just look to my left, mate.
He's averaging a three words in there, so it's fine. Anyway, no, the football's been good. Sad it's over.
Just before we actually get to that, just let's lay a wee bit of groundwork on Cal, right? So he's come in with a fan base because so every video we've posted so far, we've been
Free
receiving
Dicko.
messages saying free Dicko, bring on the Dicko.
Guillaume Moore was one of them.
Right?
But
Shut
I
up.
thought it was just Dicko commenting in different profiles.
It's just my separate profile, mate.
I know, do you know what he's been doing? But I think you've been messaging people saying message
Please
until they
call
get me
it.
on the
Please call it on
podcast.
this.
Aye. He gave 50 quid to charity and 100 quid to everybody else to comment on the.
So
I only missed twice, mate. That's 20 quid.
right, just another interesting factoid about Cal Dixon, right, before we get started with the football. So we were in here recording scenes for a Christmas episode, right? So he's lying across from me on the desk with his, in his elf suit with his feet up. So I've sent a photo of, I've uploaded a photo of Cal to the story, right? Maybe 2-3 hours has passed, and my mum follows the page. She likes everything, likes every story, reacts to everything, blah blah blah. So she's love-hearted the picture of Cal with the World Cup.
I know well.
So Cal doesn't realise it's my mom because we've got different second names, right? So Cal screenshots it, puts it in, saying, no way, this bird just reacted. We love it, right?
No, I'm not.
Mate, that's my mum.
I'm not having that. Not having that.
See, to be fair, but we need to watch her back in this group. He's got around quite a fair few. Man, so.
Mate, like how Ridley's went. Look.
How do we enjoy the football?
Aye, football.
It was good.
That's what we're here for.
That's what we're here for.
Aye, so I'll take you through the game as it unfolded. We'll start at the start and end up at the end. I can't take you serious.
Wow.
I just can't believe he's sitting here.
Right, kick off with the
Finally.
team selection.
Right.
Di Maria obviously came in for the first time in a few games. We were surprised to see him.
No.
No.
Nah.
He scored the winner in the Copa. Was it Copa America
Big
final?
game
Well,
player.
He
Yeah,
scored
he's a big game
he
player.
scored in
Last three finals.
That's it. Thanks for that, mate.
You're
Appreciate
alright.
that.
I have to fact check you.
Thanks, mate.
After McAllister's. Is got Scottish Fife descent,
No, it's Irish.
It's Irish, mate.
Irish, and it also
it's
stemmed from Fife as well.
Oh, watch this. Oh, no, it didn't.
You just stick to reading Grizzly Bear books at night, mate.
So obviously Di Maria's come in. I would agree. I wasn't surprised to see him come in. Di Maria scored in the Olympic final. He scored in the Copa America final. He scored in there's another final, and then he's obviously scored in the World Cup. So there's
final.
there's 4 in total.
Actually,
I'm missing one.
2014 he scored in the World Cup final.
Why didn't he never play in the World Cup final? 2014. They get beat 1-0.
Oh, did they? Am I talking?
Scored their own goal, mate.
Right. Okay. First goal, was it a penalty? Di Maria obviously chops inside.
Right.
See if the ref didn't blow it. I don't think VAR would have gave it because when the referee blows a whistle, it has to be a clear and obvious, obstruction to go against the ref. He clipped him, then he clipped his own heels. For me, if the ref didn't blow it, I wouldn't see it going past as being a no penalty.
I think it was the arm that the referee was more concentrating. I don't think it actually was a connection with the feet. I think it was more the arm coming across him. I saw the commentators said anyway. I didn't see much in it, to be honest. I think it's very soft. But like you say, if the referee's made a decision, they're not winning.
For me, as soon as I seen it, I was like, yeah, it's a nail-on penalty.
Nah.
I did think it was nailed on. I think he's obviously chopped inside and he sold him. Dembele's doing everything he can to try and make up the ground. In doing that, he's obviously caught Di Maria's leg, albeit it's
Tiny
soft.
wee bit, aye.
But if you
It's
catch
an
his leg when he's
attacker's tackle,
moving,
isn't it? It's an attacker's tackle.
He's
gave
You're
the referee
a
chasing
decision
back
to
to.
make.
100%.
You're
As soon as you
chasing-
give the referee a decision to make, then you've
Aye.
made your bed.
You're chasing back to try and prove that you've done
Try
something,
and make up
and
for your
then
mistake.
you've been clumsy.
Di Maria had Dembele on toast.
Oh,
Like,
mate.
see that first 45 when it was getting switched out.
See when he pegged Koundé at halfway line,
Aye.
and Koundé fouls him, he just spins him, turns him. I'm away.
And you obviously, I'm a Di Maria fan. I was surprised with his earlier performances in the tournament. I didn't think he was up to a great deal, but he's come in and to play the way that he did with limited minutes over the course of the tournament, not at full fitness, was nothing short of phenomenal for me. He was unbelievable. Like you say, we nutmegs, but it wasn't just that. It was the ability to get them out of trouble. See so many times.
Was it ball?
Aye, France aren't a great pressing team,
No.
but see the way that they'll set up and try and force you into wee areas that are difficult to get out. So they'll force them over to the left-hand touchline. Usually you're going to need all the way back to the goalie and restart, recycle. But mate, unbelievable. You know, enjoying that?
Just really strong coffee, mate. That's it. It's really strong coffee.
He's a hard day at work, so he's had to have a strong coffee.
Very
innit?
strong coffee.
Irish coffee.
That's
But
Irish coffee.
Aye, what did you make of Di Maria's performance? A lot
Thought-
of people tipped him for man of the match.
I thought, I see if Messi hadn't scored two,
Mhm.
I would have gave him it. I thought he was, honestly, I think he was unreal. I think overall, I think he had a better performance than Messi in the game, if you're excluding the goals. But I thought, like you were saying there, I think he was out ball every time. And I think that only helped Messi because if you're going to try and solidify Messi, the best thing to do is then bring in another player that's going to then be the focal point. So while they're concentrating on Messi, and that's what they done. He was left so many times one-on-one we couldn't do it there. And it just helped. It helped his game a lot because I mean, all know he's got the ability to go by 1, 2.
Because for me, I don't know if I'd have went with it myself. If I'm the manager, I'd have maybe played the players that got me there in the first
He
place.
was out left, mate. Not even right.
No, I know, but when he's played out there, he's obviously been phenomenal. But see, after he's gone off, that's when, for me, the tide turned and France put it on a wee bit. But we'll come back to that specifically. We'll cover
It goes back to the out ball. They had
Aye.
no out ball then.
we'll cover the second goal first. Wow,
Aye.
goal of the tournament contender. Do we think?
I say it's up there for passes of play. 100%.
Mhm.
I feel there's been more nicer looking goals, like in terms of shots for outside the box. But I feel, what a goal by the way. That wee touch by Messi, like
It's phenomenal.
I know it's a great pass you're playing. I think it's wild for me to watch a Brighton player in a World Cup final, and arguably
Aston
one of the
Villa.
best players.
and
of
Aston Villa.
And
aye.
Aston Villa, yeah.
Aye, well, Aston Villa and Martinez.
Aye, because everybody said it was Alvarez that got it, but I swear it was McAllister that made that run through and then sweated it too.
He did.
Di
Yeah,
Maria.
it was McAllister.
And then Di Maria again, the wee Ozil bounce, mate.
Aye,
Like
I know.
he meant that
So-
100%. He
See,
meant that.
you don't notice it until it shows you the view from behind the keeper, and you see Lloris hit that.
Aye.
If he doesn't bounce that's an easy save.
I said on the very first podcast that we ever done, right? Football throws up wee special coincidences all the time, right? So, Angel Di Maria, when he was at Real Madrid, who was playing inside him all the time?
Ronaldo.
No, inside him, directly inside him.
Ozil.
Mesut Ozil, right? Mesut Ozil. So every single day in training, he's watched him do that wee bounce, do that wee bounce, do that wee bounce. 1-on-1 with the keeper, do that wee bounce. Over the keeper, you can hit it straight at him, but you do the wee bounce, it goes over the keeper every time if he dies. So Ozil obviously moved to Arsenal, who was directly competing with Lloris at Spurs. So there's the wee London derby aspect. So Ozil, who played for Arsenal, taught Di Maria at Real Madrid that wee bounce, and then Di Maria does it to the Spurs goalie. Do you know
We've got Bielsa in this seat here, man. He's been on the first class flight, man.
I love the wee things in football. So that takes us on to about 40 minutes. Deschamps has looked at it and says it's not working. I'm going to take Giroud and Dembele off. What did you make of the sub?
I would have just dropped Giroud into a Roman. Obviously it worked, right, but I wouldn't have took him off. I think Kolo Muani was the right sub to make for Dembele. A bit more legs, he's a bit more central. But I would have kept Giroud on for the tall man thing. Because Mbappe was always going to get down the wing. He was always then going to try and cut inside, and he's only tried to cut inside because when he gets to the wing there's nowhere to go. I think Muani as well, with how much running he does, as soon as he looks up, he needs to have somebody that to bounce the ball off of. And even though he could play the ball through to Mbappe and whatever, I feel as if having the likes of Griezmann and Giroud in there it would be a completely different game.
Fair enough. What's your take?
I'd have probably kept Giroud on, but I'd have brought Muani on as well. I'd have played the three of Mbappe, Giroud, Muani.
Thanks for agreeing with me, mate.
Because Muani, when he plays at club level, primarily plays through the middle,
Aye.
but does play out on the wing as well. And he done that with PSG, but he done that with RC1s as well, where he could play on the wing as well. And he's good. He can take a man on. Obviously, Dembele's brilliant on the ball at his feet, but
He's so strong
just-
as well,
aye.
Muani, but he's so
a
strong,
big
he's
boy.
physical. Aye.
He's a big boy.
Aye.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy. Some player, man.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, man. No, but I felt like Dembele obviously just wasn't at it. Like, he wasn't having a good game. So the change to make was Kolo Muani for Dembele, but I kept Giroud on as well.
Giroud was
Such a-
struggling.
Giroud's
Giroud had
such
a knee injury.
No, I know, but it's
But
it's,
even
it's
at
a
that-
Giroud thing, but in it.
I get that he's Giroud and he's probably a trusted striker. I don't see an issue with it be going by pace.
No, I don't see an issue with it at all. But I feel as if they're obviously you put Mbappe through the middle, and that's honestly it's one of the best technical changes I've seen in a long time. 40 minutes. No, we're going to put Mbappe through the middle, and he's not played through the middle the full tournament. And then you go, no, we're going to put him through the middle. We're going to just hit them in behind, and it evidently worked. But I feel as if having Giroud for setting balls and knockdowns and all that, it would have gave you a different option to go.
He didn't win any in that first 40 minutes, but
He wouldn't have, but because it's just him.
Giroud's one of those players, though. It's like,
what do you mean? I don't get it.
Who does he knock it down to? Right.
I get that, but I'm saying he's not done it in 40 minutes, so why?
If I've not got him that header the body, I don't header it. I'm not going to jump for a ball and header it in any area.
But
I'm not going to jump
Argentina were winning seconds, they were winning firsts, they were hungrier. We called it
so
the
and that's
first.
why you drop him in behind Mbappe. So for the second ball, constantly you try that.
So who you dropping down then? So you're going to have Griezmann play further back and Tchouaméni play further back?
The same three, and you play without the right winger like they done, because Muani then came into the middle of the park kinda.
I don't know. I feel
it's the exact same system, but you just have Giroud in there.
Great, a really good striker, but I just feel, again, I don't know if it was injury. Dembele was watching. He came off rightly so. Giroud, obviously the manager's there. He's seen them. He's like he can't get 100% effort out of him. I'll make a change, and I feel is it Marcus Thuram? Do you see him and Deschamps going at it? And I mean like full scale like shouting.
I'll love to.
No, like during the game, I think it was towards the end, extra time, and then in the 90s as well, they were screaming at each other at the side of the line, like actual going at it.
I don't mind that. That's passion in it. That's passion. I don't mind that. I don't think Deschamps would have minded that as well.
I just don't think I could listen. I don't think I could listen to him in a room, man. He just seems a guy who'd walk in and just I don't like
Who,
it.
Deschamps?
Aye.
Why?
I don't know. He gives me that face, man.
What? Elaborate.
Just one of the faces at you when they want to see me.
So it's 2-0. They're sitting fairly comfortable in the game up to that point. About 79 minutes. One ball over the top. Otamendi
Mbappe just does what Mbappe does, doesn't he, man?
Was it Mbappe that won the penalty?
No, it was Muani.
Wait, I thought it was Muani won the penalty.
could well have been.
It was a man.
So Muani's obviously got beyond. Otamendi stutters. Muani gets in ahead, wins the penalty for us.
Yeah, he should have been more experienced.
And I thought Otamendi had quite a good tournament.
I
think that was a bit
I think
of
Argentina
madness.
did take the foot off the gas, but about 70 minutes.
I think there wasn't really a threat.
No, but they took their foot off the gas. They started no going forward at all. They started just playing keep ball, and then see against a team like France where playing keep ball is all well and good, right? But you will concede chances doing that if you're just keeping the ball for no reason. And as soon as they started doing that, and you have a player like Kylian Mbappe who's constantly wanting to get on the end of the ball, you just leave spaces in, and I think Otamendi's too busy. It looks like for me he's too busy looking for where Mbappe is than actually concentrating on where the ball's going. And he's like you've said, he stuttered and went, "Oh, somebody else on the park apart from Mbappe," and he, obviously.
What do you make of the penalty itself?
Strong hand for Martinez.
Not strong enough.
I feel as if he guesses the right way a lot of times, but man.
Mate, Mbappe never changed his spot. The three penalties he took.
I've got.
And
it
that's
in here,
the
Martinez guessed the right way twice.
and for a right footer, that's the spot you always go.
Do you think?
You'll
eh?
see mine in the charity thing.
Did you score?
No spoilers for it. No spoilers. But obviously he's converted the penalty. Martinez may be unlucky. Within the space of 70 seconds.
Wow.
Wow, that's literally what I've got here. I've got fourth goal. Wow, unbelievable, mate.
Not even a touch, not even nothing. That is a world class player.
Doesn't look up.
It's a world class
He
player.
watches the ball for a while, does not look up and just goes.
It reminded me of like the way you and Lewis used to play on pro clubs. Just we 1-2s and one touch finishes. Unbelievable, man.
If anybody does want to get my pro clubs against Wireless FC, drop it in below and we will scud books you.
I need to get myself a PS5 to get involved in this, man.
Same, mate.
Like, share, subscribe, get the boys some PlayStation 5s.
100%.
Santa's bringing me one, I heard.
So, Thuram's been sent off. We're all in agreement that was the right decision then. Cool. So after that comes another moment of magic from the wee man. Did you hear the commentary?
So I thought it was offside. We were on the boys chat, though. Everybody was buzzing. Next minute we're like screaming yes, and then I went, wait, he's offside.
No, because I'm
Martinez on the through
pass. I'm not even looking at the through pass. I'm looking at the fact the centre half was by the line in the goal, and then it's just Messi and the goalkeeper. So I'm looking at, I think it was Rabiot on the right hand side, and I'm thinking, please make sure he's went by him because it's the second last man, mind. And if somebody's after Park, which obviously Koundé, I think it was Koundé that was in the goal. So that's the one I was looking at. I was looking at that for the offside, and I think then they zeroed in on that after the game, and they were like, we think that's what they were checking, and I thought that as well. I said that to my dad. I was like, I think that's what they're checking. They're not checking the actual pass.
Yeah.
Because obviously when he's connected with the ball, Rabiot was by him, thankfully. But him and Rabiot were on a very tight line, and that's what I thought. That's what I was looking at anyway.
Would you make it?
Do you know what? Yeah, actually, they make a good point. It was when they check it after, when they spoke about it after the game, I could understood it more as to why. Because at first I was like, what are they actually checking for? But when they check it back, it makes sense why they've checked it. To be honest,
Yourself?
What a goal.
It's special, innit? Special.
And then, did you see the wee thing that, well, obviously, you can only see for a camera angle and you're not going to see the players, but there's a wee thing when Messi was going back after he scored, he done a wee fist bump right to Mbappe, Mbappe done it back to him, but it's all hindsight, because you don't know where they're actually looking. So, no,
that's true.
some goal.
The sixth goal then, is it a penalty for you?
Aye.
The elbow out? I think, just on that, again, we're all in agreement with every single one of the decisions there enough, so I think that's the best refereeing performance I've seen.
I was about to say that there. I think you've got to give props to the ref. I think World Cup final, his nerves would have been shattered as well. I think he's done very well.
He was an ex-footballer, wasn't he?
Aye.
In fact, do you know, see,
In
just on the
Germany.
referee, let me ask.
And he never relied on VAR once.
Aye, that's true. Let me just ask one question, right? So it's 3-2 at this point in the game. Then I think it was McAllister's clipped the ball just over the top for Martinez, I think it was, going through. Then Upamecano's came and shouldered him in the back. Is that a penalty for you? Nah.
It's not.
I think for me,
I
if
think
that's
it might
anywhere
have
else,
been actually.
if it's anywhere else in the park, for me,
That's a foul.
there's going to give a foul. I think you see them giving for set pieces all the time. That's what I said watching it. If you see them giving it set pieces, look at the one that was given against Giroud in the first half. It's never a foul for me. But if that's been given, like I say, at set pieces in that in the middle of the park,
why
for
should
me
it
that's
be?
that's a penalty.
Aye,
That's the
I
only
think-
decision he got wrong, but I can understand.
I
why
think
he's
that's
done
one thing they've got to sort in football as well, is the consistency levels of it. It's for me, especially as I know I say this every podcast, but I play football in the air 90% of the time. The amount of times that people, when I jump up, people come through the back of me, pull me, and you don't get anything for it. But then if I'm running with the ball, I get pulled and it's a free kick, and I never go down, and sometimes I turn around like, how's he gave it for that? But a minute ago I get elbowed in the back of the
But
head.
there's a
and I'm
difference
like,
between the expectation of standard at
A
Sunday
Sunday
League
League
level
game,
and the
aye.
World
No,
Cup
of course,
final.
but
So
you
need
see
to-
you see it in football as well. Every high ball, see if there's a high ball, two players are running at it, and somebody's stoning and one player's running, and the player that's stoning and jumps hits the ground. 95% of the time they get a foul. It's not a foul. That's a 50-50 ball. If you were stoning and the ball's rolling towards you, and I came in for the side sprinting and I win the ball, they wouldn't get a foul.
It
But
depends
because
on
you're doing a stoning jump and the other person's doing a running jump, they get a foul for some reason. I don't know how that can
But it
be.
depends where the contact's made. So if I run in and I shoulder you that way and it's shoulder to shoulder, then it's not a foul. But if someone comes through the back, front, or whatever,
Below you when you're in there.
that's a foul,
The
'cause
thing is, if you go above somebody, if you get above somebody, right, whether you foul them or no, if you get above them, you touch the ball first. You've touched the ball first.
Well, let's put it
can't
into
do-
perspective here, right? So let's say
doesn't work like that.
I'm looking at the ball, right? It's my goal kick, and you're coming at the back of me, and you've jumped up. See if I just bend forward and go down, you're not getting that. You're falling near me,
100%.
and that's
So who's committed the foul then? If you're
Me?
intending me to do that, exactly, but it never happens. It never happens. You would get the foul because it looks as if I came early tapping.
I disagree
But
with
you're
that.
not allowed to do that. You're not
Yeah,
allowed
exactly, that's the point I'm making. But that is Harry Kane's made a full career with it.
Aye,
You're
Harry
not.
Kane's
You're not
so
allowed to
bad
make
for that,
contact like that. You're not allowed to come up the back of somebody and make the contact like that.
But
Can we get a mention in? Is it Paredes? Paredes.
Paradise.
Paredes' challenge on.
Mate, what did I tell you?
aye.
What did I tell you the last podcast? He's gonna come in, he's gonna bite, and he's gonna keep biting.
I think
thought
you
he
need
would
that.
have
I think you
started,
needed
but
that at that point in the time.
I agree. I was surprised he never started, to be fair.
Yeah, I thought he
But
would have started.
if you're going to drop him, then who better to bring in than Angel Di Maria, who obviously, in my opinion, was probably man of the match in the first half. Over the course of the game, what I'll ask you is that who would you have gave man of the match to over the course of the
Lionel
120
Messi.
minutes? Messi.
2 goals. Aye, and Messi or Mbappe. I think Mbappe was brilliant for 50 minutes, including extra time. But Di Maria's a close third.
Who would you give it to?
Probably Messi.
Mhm.
I think you do give it to Messi, to be fair. Just overall, the whole game, he dictates every game he plays. And do you know what? He might have not fell out the game, but not as being involved at times. But you just knew as soon as the ball came to him, that was him back on.
I know, Dixon.
Back on
I said this to them that there's a difference. There's always been a difference between Ronaldo and Messi. Messi is a playmaker.
That debate ends. That ended.
Nah,
That
And
ended, and that that ended
Messi's
a long time
playmaker
ago.
and he's the best playmaker that's ever done.
Who's your man of the match?
If it was me personally about stats and goals, I would have gave it to Di Maria. But see, just with the goals and
I agree.
play, it has to go to Messi. I feel.
I agree.
I feel as well about we'll get into it with the awards and team of the tournaments and that as well. But I feel like don't know where I'm going with that. Kind of fell me off. Fell in my head there.
No, I would agree. I think 2 goals win the game. Aye, for me, Messi. I thought
So if France had won the game, do you think Mbappe would have got it?
no for me. I thought Mbappe was pretty quiet for too much of the game to get man of the match. I think
Who was
10 minutes
besides
he was
Varane?
phenomenal, and then obviously
I thought Varane had a
Upamecano.
cracking game, by the way.
I thought Varane was good. I thought both the France centre halves were really good.
Yeah.
Upamecano made like 3 last ditch
I
blocks.
think he's due another big move for Bayern.
Liverpool. Can on.
Think so?
No,
He's not
I
going to
don't know.
play ahead of Kanate or Van Dijk. Well, maybe he would play over
I think
Kanate
he
because
would
he
play
started
over
over Kanate.
I think he would play with Kanate. I think Kanate's just got the Kanate's so good now. Like honestly, he's so good now. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, but Kanate doesn't start every week for Liverpool.
No, big Matip.
Matip starts most weeks.
Matip's quality as well. It's Messi's penalty. Cool, calm. Nice.
Collected.
Collected.
Wow.
Very
The
nice.
boys did that in a World Cup final.
Aye. Kingsley Coman.
See,
I don't
that's
think-
one
I
of
don't
the
think
ones
it's a
I
bad
would. See,
pen.
that's the only one that fights against my argument. That because he is experienced and he is older and he knows what he's doing and he's obviously just missed.
I just feel you need to hit a corner, and I just feel he wasn't in the corner.
Paulo Dybala.
Outside.
Nice. Tchouaméni. Let's just move on for Tchouaméni. Let's
Aye.
move on for Tchouaméni.
Let's just make a mention. Martinez probably should have had 2 yellow cards.
Do you think?
1,000,000%. Bro, you do that in the 90th minute of a game and you're winning 1-0, you're getting a card. You do it again, that's another card.
What would happen in that situation if he's been?
I think
sent
you would
off?
just have to. I think you
don't-
would just have to put a
So,
player
I
in.
think
I
I can't remember the rule right, but I think it's ungentlemanly behaviour is the rule that it's called, and you can I think you can only get. Correct me if I'm wrong, but when I done my refereeing thing, there's 3 or 4 rules that you can only get 1 card for in a game, and I'm sure
Right, okay.
ungentlemanly behaviour. It's either that or unsportsmanlike, but I'm sure unsportsmanlike is fouling.
Right. Okay.
So I'm sure ungentlemanly behaviour you can only get 1 card for a game. Now I'll need to check that, but I know
Aye.
for a fact there's a couple of rules that you can only get. It's like if you kick the ball out or you stand on the ball and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like you can't get. I can't remember what that is, mate. But I'm sure there's a reason why he didn't get sent off. Because any other time, like you said, they would have get sent
Right,
off.
like,
for
killed
that.
for
It's
that.
time wasting and stuff like that as well. Do you know what I mean?
So at this point, it's advantage Argentina. Then Paredes steps up, keeps the pressure on with a nice penalty. What did you make of it?
Good pen.
Good pen.
Where'd it go? Where'd it go?
Bottom
again?
left.
Bottom left.
Paredes.
Culture.
Then you've got Muani step up. I thought his was a great pin. Right
Great
down the
pen,
middle
mate.
and high.
Aye.
Goalkeepers are always going to dive. If your legs are trailing, sometimes you'll catch it if it goes in the middle.
Scalped it, didn't they?
Right down the middle, mate. High.
Well
High in the
done, mate.
middle. Aye, it's a great penalty. And then Montiel. I was surprised Montiel was up taking one of the penalties, but
we said
he
this.
fancied it. And do you know what? He put it away, so.
I know. I to be honest, I didn't know him before the World Cup.
Really, eh?
No, I know. I didn't know much of him. I had to go and do my research, but aye, fair play to him, man. He stood up, came off the bench, and he's done well.
Fair enough. So aye, that covers the World Cup final. But we've got one last wee segment before we sign this series off. We're going to go through and pick our team of the tournament from start to finish. So I'll kick you off, Dixon, seeing as you're you're this week's guest.
This week's guest.
And if you've picked a decent enough team, you might be allowed back on.
If he's unlucky.
So
Right.
you start us off with your goalie.
Right, you want my goal in an honourable mention? Or do you want just my goal?
What, first
Just
of all,
a
what
player.
formation are you going with, mate?
I've gone with a diamond in midfield, so a 4-4-2 with a diamond in the middle.
Cool.
4-4-2 with a diamond. Right, okay,
Full,
so
full central midfielders.
start.
Well,
I tell you
6
what.
or 10, but-
I'll ask you every position. If you feel like you need to add an honourable mention in for someone, fair enough. But let's not be saying 25 honourable mentions.
He has got a list of 25.
Is he?
Like that.
Right, okay, so
Um,
who's your goalkeeper?
Yusuf Buna,
Yusuf Bueno.
Morocco
Morocco.
goalkeeper. Unreal. The amount of saves that boy made was just unreal. I
How,
don't think.
how do you want to do it? Do you want me to hear
1-1-1.
Dixon's full team? Or will I go
1-1-1.
1-1-1? Okay, cool. So you've gone Bruno. If you get a wee nomination,
I
honourable
put
mention.
Dominik Livakovic,
Mhm.
but I think Bruno edges it just because like no one in their right mind thought Morocco were going to go as far as they did, and he was a big reason they went as far.
Nah, I never said that.
Samuel
Far.
Eto'o.
I never said that far.
Samuel Eto'o did. But I think he was a big reason.
Yeah, he was
why they
excellent.
did. He was fantastic. all
Yeah,
the
very
time.
good.
What you saying?
You just pronounced it right, and I'm heavy
Bono.
gonna
Yusuf
butcher
Bruno.
it. No.
Oh, Livakovic.
Livakovic.
Aye.
Honourable mention. But I can't speak.
Bono.
Skip me.
Oh
Skip.
my god! Oh my
Skip.
god! His bottles
Tremendous.
went.
Bono, his bottles
Skip.
went. I've went with Livakovic. I think if you go into a penalty shootout and say full penalties into penalty shootouts, you get and your team go through. That's the thing as well. And then your team goes through after that. I think you've got to be. I think honourable mention for me is Gonda for Japan. I thought he was excellent.
Your honourable mentions have just got to be fellow Japan players.
Pretty much. I know. I thought he was brilliant. Didn't like I said, didn't know him before the tournament. Found out quickly who he was.
He's good. He's a good goalie.
Very athletic, strong, tall, game. There's the main coming off his line and getting penalties away. But I think Livakovic for me is the one.
I've gone Dominic Livakovic as well. I think he's not just his penalty stopping ability, but see in the game against Brazil, unbelievable.
I'll keep doing who everybody says.
1 or 2 against Brazil. Sorry, no Brazil, Belgium. 1 or 2 against Belgium as well. He's a really good goalie. Obviously, penalty heroics are a totally different thing, but for me, top player. Right back.
The only, I think, non-debatable one in the whole team, Ashraf Hakimi.
would
What a tournament, by the way.
What you say? Ashraf Hakimi.
Yeah.
I think this will be a quick one. I've said Hakimi.
I've went Dumfries.
Dumfries. Right.
Aye.
Okay. Why?
I just think he was brilliant. He came up with a goal. He was constantly getting up the park. I don't think that the Dutch would have went as far as they did if it wasn't for him. I thought defensively he was very sound. I thought he came up against some great wingers and cancelled them out. So
Fair enough.
Dumfries.
I think we've all gone for the same left-sided centre half. I take it we've all gone for Joska Gvardiol.
Gvardiol,
Aye.
yeah.
Aye. For me, young player of the tournament. Would you?
I'm
be far off that?
1,000,000% agree with that.
Agree. Do you think Enzo got it unfairly then?
We need to shout out Craig Honest because Craig Honest
I
was
don't
singing
think
this
Craig
boy's
I don't
praises for
think
so
Enzo
long.
got it unfairly. I thought he was phenomenal.
I think it's because he won it. He got it.
But I think
Aye,
I think it's the position as well that Vardiol plays in. See if you're that good as a midfielder, there's 20 other midfielders that are that good.
Mm-hmm.
I think as a centre half you always stone out for some reason. I feel as if for young centre halves they stone out a bit more
Aye.
and kind of things like that.
He
So
doesn't come across a young centre half, but
no, he
Yeah,
doesn't.
he's
He
a
doesn't.
long
I
mature, but
think
he
if it wasn't for the thing for Messi, I think it would have got it, honestly.
That's one thing I was going to mention. I hope people don't look at the way that Messi's done that to him and think any less of Gvardiol for
Nah.
it, because
I don't
Messi's
think they
done
will.
Messi's done that to the top centre halves in the world through his full
Yeah.
career.
Aye.
So to do it to a 20-year-old there's no shame in that whatsoever.
No.
Right sided centre half.
I'm going to go Roman Sais.
Okay.
I wasn't originally, but I'm going to go with Sais. I thought,
He had Otamendi.
I did have Otamendi, because I think apart from that last, that kind of,
No,
That
he had a
moment in
few
the final.
he had a few mistakes in the World Cup.
he led the Argentina defence really well.
I
think he did.
I've went with his partner. I've went with Romero.
So
Romero.
Romero's my honourable mention.
Romero, I just feel you just need somebody that's just a horrible
Mental
bee.
case. Aye.
You just need a Jamie Welsh.
So
Yeah.
just tackles.
Just tackles, mate. Like not even that. I think it was.
See the one when he came through. I know you're going to say the slide tackle when he came through the back of thing.
I wasn't even going to say that, but I was going to say I think it was a corner to France or something, and one of the boys just turned around and spoke to the ref, and
You get Sky Sports team of the tournament up there.
I have, but Romero's not in Sky Sports' team of the tournament.
Right, let's batter on. Come on, somebody's just still get.
All right, mate. No worries. That's fine. Sorry, we've got 15 minutes for you to get up the road. Let's go. Sorry. Let's go through this. Go on.
I've agreed with the big man. I've been Sais. I think my honourable mention is Romero.
I would agree. But for me, I've gone Rafael Varane and Romero's my honourable mention. I think Varane had a solid tournament. I thought he was very, very decent.
Cool.
Left back,
Jordi Alba.
Jordi Alba.
Yeah, 2 assists, 2 man of the matches. Never really. I don't think there was an awful lot of left backs that kind of shone at the tournament. Mazraoui played well for Morocco, but I'll give it to Alba because he was just always steady for Spain. Like
Yeah.
he's one of those players that's like, oh, he's getting older,
You don't see him.
but,
Aye.
but he's getting older, but
Aye.
he don't get any worse.
Yeah, aye. Yourself?
I was obviously, as I said, I've got Sky Sports' team up here, but I'm also flicking in between. No, I'm just saying what their opinions on that because I did agree with most of them, bar a few. I said I couldn't to you before, but I feel I don't know. You've got to give praise to Hernandez as well. So to be honest, any one of them I can. If I'm going to have to pick one, I'd say Acuna because he's won it. But any mention to them would.
What about you?
I've went Hernandez. I think he was playing that position isolated his cell when Mbappe not coming back. I think he was constantly just his cell, and for them not to concede a goal in that side. Full tournament, that's
Because he two in that side in the World Cup final.
in the final. Apart from that, he was world class.
Just two in the biggest game of the
Just
tournament.
no, well that happens. It's going to happen in the final when you're up against Messi, innit? When you're up against Messi and Di Maria, it's going to happen. I think apart from that, I think he was unreal.
Fair enough. I've gone Nuasir Mazraoui. I think he was unbelievable. I think he was part of a back four or back five, however they set up. It was just unbelievable. Conceded 3 goals the full tournament. I thought he was brilliant.
And to be playing on his opposite side as well.
Exactly.
Off his weaker
Very,
foot.
very good.
Exactly.
So
I think he's due a big mover.
he's at Bayern already.
I think he is a better brother.
Who Hernandez?
Aye.
Oh, Hernandez.
He's covered
Sorry,
it, he's covered
sorry,
it.
I'm-
sorry.
You're talking about the AC.
So you midfield 3.
Well, I've got the 4 midfield.
Oh, right, okay.
I've got Amrabat in the 6. Sitting. I just think he's unreal. I knew he was good at Fiorentina, and I knew he was good at Verona before Fiorentina. He was one that used to pull it in Football Manager all the time. Brilliant player. And he's shown at a tournament. He was unreal. Absolutely unreal. I don't really have an honourable mention to go in there because he was.
That's my honourable mention. That's my honourable.
Your 2 8s.
My 2 8s, I have Enzo Fernandez and Alexis McAllister. I think a Brighton player, don't get me wrong, Brighton, brilliant team, but I don't think a Brighton player has any right to show up to a World Cup and play that well. I think everybody's going, Fernandez. McAllister was fantastic.
Yeah.
I thought McAllister was
Super.
unreal.
And your 10.
My 10, I've got Griezmann in the 10. I've kind of forced him into the 10 a wee bit.
Cool. Yourself?
I've went, like it says, honourable mention Amrabat. I feel I've went with Enzo Fernandez, Griezmann and Uani.
Right, okay.
I thought Uani was, I don't know, he just seemed that every pass was forward. He looked to be on the front foot. Griezmann, I thought, has just opened up a role for him now that he can do now, and to a very, very good standard. It wasn't even the case
I
where
think it will lead to him leaving Atletico because he will only get in Atletico Madrid field under Simeone. So it will need to have Simeone leaving or him leaving.
just the amount of times he recovered second balls was unbelievable. Like, in his own
Clearances in
box.
the box and all that, mate.
PSG
It's a good shout for him.
for Griezmann. Could be perfect.
It's a good shout for him. It's a very good shout for him.
Who's your midfield 3?
I went with Tchouameni.
I just don't put him in a penalty, but
Just don't put him in a
Don't put him
penalty.
in a penalty. I think he was the best defensive midfielder in there. I still wouldn't have put him on a penalty. I think he's too young and I don't think that's the kind of positional player you put in a penalty. I went with McAllister and Griezmann. I went with Tchouameni as the deepest one. I think McAllister, honestly, for me, was the best midfielder in the tournament.
Right, okay.
Watching him, he didn't really do much defensively, but the ability for him just to constantly track back and hold in areas, just constantly storing in areas to stop passes, and then his attacking ability to get, for the last goal there, or the second last goal, to make a run for 50 yards deep into your anything, mate, and constantly follow the ball all the way, and then play a 1-2 Messi and go, shut up.
have you seen the photo of his dad, by the way?
McAllister?
No. Mate, you're going to need to look that up.
Why?
Unreal. His dad does not look like an Argentina. He doesn't really look like he's for Argentina.
His dad's Irish, that's fine.
Aye. No, his dad's not. His dad's not.
He done this in the last podcast where he said McAllister could have played for Scotland. He's just trying to wind you up. It's fine.
Brilliant. His dad's unreal, mate. You need to look up a photo of his dad. It's the funniest thing ever.
Right.
Who's your 3?
My midfield 3, Antoine Griezmann, Sofiane Amrabat and Azzedine Uani. I think Uani was the breakout for me at the tournament.
Oh,
I
so
thought-
good.
Who would you rather, if you had to pick one, Amrabat or Nani, who would you pick?
Different players.
No, I know, but if you had to put one in your midfield,
Well, it depends where I needed filled.
if we could only use one Moroccan player,
If I'm looking at the well, it depends because I get it. What do you need? If I'm looking at the Celtic
CH
team right now,
Hakimi.
if I'm looking at the Celtic
Buffal.
team right now, I pick Uani
Aye, 100%.
because Cal would sit. You'd have. I don't know if you'd. I don't
You
know.
could toss between O'Reilly and Hatate.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
go
O'Reilly.
and prove why you're better than this player to start. That's what I'd do.
Unahi for me, but he's probably he had the best tournament in my opinion out of the 3.
Yeah.
Griezmann was phenomenal as well. Don't get me wrong, but everyone knew Griezmann was capable of that. That was levels that we knew he could reach. And Amrabat, I think most people knew he was a decent player, but he
Yeah.
just hit new levels. This boy, he's came out of nowhere. Nobody really knew anything about him, and for me, he was unbelievable. The way he takes the ball, the places he takes the ball, his forward progressive passes we spoke about.
Yeah.
For me, he's one of the best midfielders at the tournament.
So obviously you went with front two, but I think we would have picked the same front three.
Surely we've picked the same front three, but let's. Surely you've gone Messi and Mbappe.
Yeah, I have, but I think my honourable mention will be the third person and at least somebody's front three, because I've got Alvarez.
Yeah,
I think
That's
this
my
was
front three.
this was his tournament to kind of realistically, right, if you, before the tournament, if you're going right, Lautaro Martinez or Alvarez,
Lautaro Martinez.
you'd normally go Lautaro Martinez, right? Alvarez.
I would have come into the tournament.
Inter Milan starting striker, Man City's backup striker, Lautaro Martinez.
Would you think the next move for Alvarez now after coming off the back of
He's
Yeah.
only just signed for Man City. He won't
that?
leave.
No, I mean, but what do you do then? Because you're not going to get a Haaland.
He can play off the right as well. You drop Mahrez.
He can play off the wing, but I think this was the tournament where he kind of showed himself as, hold on, I'm not just a backup striker. I can lead a line as well, and I think he done it really well.
Mm-hmm.
If I did originally when I first done my team had a 4-3-3, but I had to get Alexis McAllister in, and that's what sacrificed Alvarez.
No, fair enough. Yourself?
I went Mbappe, Messi, and Cody Gakpo.
Oh, right, okay.
I'm only joking. I went Alvarez.
Got to get felt as my honourable mention, but
yeah, I was
He was a baller, mate. Saka, honourable
definitely
mention.
no.
Like
But Cody Gakpo is amazing.
I thought Saka had a good tournament.
Saka had a better tournament than Gakpo.
I don't know if I agree. with
I
that.
think I agree with that.
Gakpo scored, what was it, 3 goals? 3 goals in the first 3 games. Gakpo was a very good player. But so I take it we've all gone Mbappe off the left, Messi off the right with Alvarez through the middle.
Yep.
I think that's fair. I think
itself.
Giroud could have been in there ahead of
sure.
Alvarez, but I think the final just tipped it for me. I think they were both on the same level coming into it, but Alvarez's performance on the biggest game or in the biggest game and versus Giroud's I know you've said obviously Giroud was struggling a wee bit, but for me Alvarez.
Definitely, I agree. I think I've just got so much respect for that goal where he just runs 80 yards. Do you know what I mean? I've just got so much respect for that alone.
Aye, different level. So that signs us off, guys. Thank you very much for watching us over these last 4 or 5 weeks. I dare say it's been as painful for you at home as it has been for me sitting with Connor on the podcast for this long. But now, in all seriousness, we've got the Scottish Football podcast coming out in a couple of weeks.
Yep.
Pretty excited for it. How you feeling?
Aye, buzzing.
Exciting.
That'll be good, mate. Very
Good to see a few new faces that the people have not seen as well on. So
Aye, so
hopefully
we've got a squad of about 10. Some interesting guests in that we've got lined up as
Yep.
well for the new year. So
So Jamie won't have to put up with me every podcast, as we say.
I don't
Listen,
think
I
anybody could listen to you talk about Livingston and Dundee on a Tuesday night, mate.
Aye, stop posting me on TikTok then.
Make it too easy, mate. Make it far too easy.
I don't find you heeding up at all, mate. I love you to bits.
Thanks,
But-
mate.
Aye, thanks for everybody tuning in and listening, and showing the support what we could do, what we could do better, what we've done well so far, and
Yeah, I appreciate
we've got a
it.
wee.
Definitely. But
wee
stay
Christmas
tuned for
special.
Christmas Eve because Christmas Eve
Oh,
we've
man.
got a charity meets football challenge coming. We've got teammates. We've got
Santa's
Secret
gifts.
Santa. Yeah, so we've got a really exciting episode. Stay tuned for
Plus you get to
Christmas
see me
Eve.
missing a lot of shots.
All in good cause.
All for a good cause. All for a good cause indeed. So as said, guys, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.